Dubbed the silent killer, PKD can be part of your life for decades before you even know it. In some cases, people can go their entire lives without knowing they had PKD because their kidneys never failed. So what is your life like with PKD is more of a question to ask someone who is in kidney failure or on dialysis or has already had a kidney transplant. For me, life is pretty normal, but I'm always aware of it. As I shared in the last video, my kidneys are functioning at around 80%, which may sound alarming, but surprisingly, most people don't have to start dialysis until their kidney function is only operating at like 10 or 15%. So I've still got like 65% before I have to worry about anything. That's not necessarily true. Between now and then, a whole host of things could be going on. First, let's talk about what I'm dealing with right now, which, mind you, isn't much compared to a lot of people, but this channel is all about being real about my PKD journey, so here it goes. Number 1. Because of PKD, I have high blood pressure. Now, it's not insanely high, and I'm sure there are plenty of people out there with high blood pressure problems with much higher blood pressure than me. That said, high blood pressure is bad for a lot of reasons. Not only can high blood pressure further damage your kidneys, but it could also increase your risk of heart attack or stroke. For this, I take 10 milligrams of a medicine called lisinopril, which is a common blood pressure medicine that actually has some other benefits as well. In the future, I plan to make a video about lisinopril and its effects on the body, so stay tuned for that one. A video about blood pressure medicine sounds like so much fun, doesn't it? The 10 milligrams of lisinopril seems to do the trick for my blood pressure, which is great. Side note, I spoke with someone who has PKD and she told me that because of how she has treated her high blood pressure, she hasn't had any new cyst growth in the last 17 years. I don't know a lot about that, but I was surprised when she told me, and I would very much like to learn more and see if that's common. Number 2, kidney stones. Holy crap, kidney stones. I've been fortunate that I've only had kidney stones once so far, but man, it was a doozy, and it ended up putting me in the hospital for like 3 days. Just to sum it up, I started peeing blood and it felt like a car was slowly running over my chest. We talk a lot about peeing blood on this channel. Sorry. Also, that's part of my story about how I learned that I had PKD in the first place, but that's for another time. Thankfully, I haven't had any more problems with kidney stones, but it wouldn't be a shock if they came up again, and I just pray it doesn't ever happen again because it's seriously the worst pain I've ever experienced. Number 3, back and side pain. This one I'm not 100% sure about because I don't feel it all the time. I usually get back and side pain, or what they call flank pain, in the mornings while I'm in bed and I really have to pee. This has been going on for the last 5 years or so, and I'm not sure if it has to do with enlarged kidneys or if it's just something that happens more as you age. At 34, I'm guessing it has to do with my kidneys, but sometimes I wake up and it feels like I was wearing a life jacket that was just way too tight. It's uncomfortable, but it's not a huge deal. So unless treatment plans stop cyst growth in their tracks, here are some of the more common symptoms of PKD I may be encountering in the future. Urinary tract or kidney infections, headaches, feeling of fullness in my abdomen, discomfort with enlarged kidneys, enlarged abdomen due to enlarged kidneys for what is known as PKD belly. I think it goes without saying, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms regularly, you probably want to get it checked. At the very least, see a doctor and mention it to him if you suspect polycystic kidney disease for any reason. Other things you need to watch out for if you have PKD is cyst growth in the liver, development of an aneurysm in the brain, pregnancy complication, heart valve abnormalities, and colon problems. I seriously had no idea about any of this until I started researching for this video, and yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. But it didn't make this video to scare anyone. That's the last thing I want to do. But information is power, and the more you know, the more you can work at preventing some of this stuff, and possibly making your overall experience with PKD less hellish than if you didn't know about it before. So at 34, I would say my symptoms are minimal, and I hope they continue to be that way, especially with all the research being done to potentially stop cyst growth in its tracks. I do things like staying hydrated, and when my kids are crawling all over me, I try not to let them pounce on my back or stomach, though I'm not always successful in that. In a later video, I'd love to talk about some of the things that I'm currently doing to try to keep my kidneys as healthy as possible while these giant sacks of fluid are slowly destroying my organs. I'll try to sound less morbid about it in the future. I hope this video was useful to you in some way. If you're going through PKD and you're experiencing some of these symptoms, please leave a comment below and tell me about it, and we can all kind of give each other some encouragement while we're going through this stuff. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.